What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition of White Men Can't Dumb, the new entertainment podcast, well, fairly new entertainment podcast here on MVP Entertainment. I am joined, as I always am, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with my beautiful co-host, Soapy Muffin, and in this case, the leader of Ram Ranch, Soapy Muffin.
Yeah, we're out here Ram Ranching, folks. There's 18 naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch.
We're in space with the FBI and Ram Ranch.
Yeah, it's the U.S. government's raiding Ram Ranch as we speak.
Oh man, but Soapy, I gotta.
That's
ask
why it looks like I'm in a hostage situation all the time. They're using me as leverage against Ram Ranch.
Because you're always there on Ram Ranch. But Soapy, I gotta ask you, how was your weekend? Monday's show. We haven't seen each other since Friday. How was your weekend?
It's okay.
Soapy's like, it's alright. It's a weekend. Shit happens. It's a weekend.
I mean, nothing really. I was gonna say nothing really happened. Like I worked this weekend, and I mean, it was work.
Damn.
And I gotta remember, I gotta angle my head up.
I love how
that sucks about this.
I love how your camera was in perfect focus until you were like, I'm gonna show my face, and it's like all the pixels in the world.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it doesn't like. I'm basically witness protection.
I will say I love the look, the long flowing hair, the big cowboy hat, the sunglasses. Really, like the only thing that would make it better is orange sunglasses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and those are coming in the mail soon.
Yeah, a little bit.
Especially because those ones
really
won't with my eyes.
Did you really buy them
Not
right
yet.
now? Okay.
Not yet.
I was like impulse buy.
They're like a 1-day shipping. So
okay. So
and just so you guys know, these glasses are not staying on the whole time. These are like prescription sunglasses from my dad, who was like borderline blind. I'm like seeing between dimensions right now.
Soapy put them on and was like, "Oh wow, it magnifies things. Like why is it zooming in?" But we got a jam.
These don't zoom in; they zoom out.
Oh, zoom out. That's what it was.
Like to put this in perspective,
like you're looking at a
my
fishbowl.
name has never been smaller on Discord ever.
It's like you're looking in a fishbowl, right? Or out of a fishbowl.
Yeah.
Is that what it would be?
I don't know.
Soapy's like,
I don't know how fishbowls work.
Never been in a fishbowl, but Soapy, we got a jam-packed show. Before we get into everything, the housekeeping at the beginning, make sure to join the Discord. That link is down below in the description if you want to continue conversations with the MVP community. It is free. We're talking in there every day. Go ahead and join it down below. If you want to get on the conversation here, hit up that comment section. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/MVPvids, and also hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell to stay in tune with White Men Can't Jump and White Men Can't Dumb, smartest podcast on the internet.
I was going to say, we're keeping track with the old movie.
We're keeping track, man. That's what we're doing. But White Men Can't Dumb, smartest podcast on the entire internet. Just the smartest show you'll find, because, we are the smartest, Soapy. I don't know if you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we are the biggest. We are the biggest of the brains that you will notice.
Yeah,
in this show.
My 2.7 GPA really, put me above and beyond everybody.
Hey man, I was not much higher. I was about a 3.1 at the highest. Dipped down to like a 2.9 at some points. Like I fluctuated, but we got a jam-packed show.
Yours still means though that you at least got good grades. I got C's and B's all the way through high school.
I got fucking yelled at if I didn't. Okay, I got the shit kicked out of me if I didn't. So I kind of had to. But we got a jam-packed show. We're talking some movies. We're talking some gaming today. A little wrestling news is there was a big match announced for WrestleMania that we are going to discuss, and then a little TV news at the end about your favorite topic, Star Wars. But Soapy, the first thing I want to talk about today is something that we have mentioned, you and I, before. And I was like, let's save this topic because this is a topic that is probably going to go for most of the show. And it has to do with Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves, the director. Robert Pattinson is the Batman. And the Batman, I believe, comes out March 6th, I want to say. March 6th, pulling up the date right here. March 4th, I was close. So we're
even closer.
We're T-minus half a month away from the Batman. And there's an article that came out over the weekend that said The Batman's Paul Dano, who is playing the Riddler, had trouble sleeping because of the Riddler's intense scenes. During an interview with Entertainment Weekly, the 37-year-old Batman villain explained why he found it difficult to come down from the role. There's a sequence with Peter Sarsgaard's character, the Gotham District Attorney, that was intense, said Dano. There were some nights around that I probably didn't sleep as well as I would have wanted to, just because it was a little too hard to come down from this character. It takes a lot of energy to get there, and so you almost have to sustain it once you're there, because going up and down is kind of hard. Soapy, I know you have talked to me before your, I'm going to say, worries about the Riddler. I want to hear from your mouth, just opening statement. When it comes to the Riddler, are you worried about this character for the Batman?
See, my main thing isn't so much of like the depiction of it. I just don't like the way he looks. That was my main thing. Because it's also every time I hear like, oh, you know, like people, you know, having trouble with characters on cast, it instantly just reminds me of like last time I heard about this and people got hyped. I got Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep my expectations low for when it's like intense scenes, because obviously, you know, I mean, every actor does it differently. Like obviously people are method actors, and method actors can kind of make it work. Like I know Heath Ledger did it a lot. Over like people would be like, oh, okay, Heath's actually fucking insane because he just acts like the Joker all the time.
And I want to interrupt for a second, because when he was talking about like how it's hard to come down and like all this stuff, the first thing I thought was, after this movie's done filming, can we like put him on like some surveillance or like some supervision so that maybe we don't get another Heath Ledger situation? Because that was something that was kind of like, not, I don't want to say it was messed up, but it was like Heath Ledger was the best Joker that we've ever had, but some could say it killed the man.
Yeah. And I don't think it's gonna go that far, because obviously, you know,
I hope
Heath took it a step too far.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, hearing like that, oh, it's really intense scenes. Like my main thing at this point is just like, are we just getting another version of a Dark Knight movie?
Okay.
Like that's my main thing, of where it's like, to me, my main problem I've always had like when people do DC movies is the fact that they base it off the same 3 comics over and over and over again. Of where it's like, okay, like guys, we get it. You read The Killing Joke. You fucking put a death in the family. We understand. You read them.
Yeah.
But where it's like I'm not asking for like a happy-go-lucky Batman movie. Like no one wants to watch a happy-go-lucky Batman movie, especially since Gotham is fucked up.
Yeah.
But like it's just every time when I constantly hear like, oh, you know, like it's dark, and it's like not have the same fucking Batman over and over again. Like I know obviously this isn't the Batman they're explaining. But like Riddler's always kind of had that like, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it, of where it's not that like dark character. He's kind of like a goofy character a little bit. Like obviously he can be dark.
Yeah.
But like once again, my entire thing with the Riddler just all comes down to the fact of like, I just want to see like, does him looking like he's wearing a gimp suit make sense in this movie?
I mean, for me, I have said numerous times in the Discord, because I'm a Batman superfan. Batman is by far my number one hero. Ride or die. I've always loved him since I was a kid watching the animated series growing up. I've always said, like when this has come up in the Discord and talking to you, I want to reserve my judgments until after seeing the movie, because there's a part of me that feels like this is going to be a situation where it's almost like the Spider-Man video game. Remember Puddlegate? Oh my God, the puddles don't look right. Oh my God, we're freaking out. And then the game comes out. It's like, wow, this is one of the best games. This is game of the year contender. Nobody
I
fucking
feel like that's a
thought
little
about
more
the puddles.
nitpicky though than like Riddler looking like he just fucking tried to like walk out with a garbage bag.
But what I'm saying is this could be a thing where the movie comes out, the actual movie explains, like you're watching it and you go, oh, now I get it. Now I get why he looks like that. It all makes sense. because obviously with these trailers, you don't want to give away anything. I know with the story, you had mentioned like, oh, the same story over and over. This is going to be, I want to say, a little different story because no other Batman movie we've had has been based off this yet. Matt Reeves had said numerous times it's based off The Long Halloween, which I have the little quick synopsis here where it tells the story of a mysterious killer in the graphic novel. It was Holiday, who murders people on holidays, one each month. Working with District Attorney Harvey Dent and Captain James Gordon, Batman races against the calendar as he tries to discover who Holiday is before he claims his next victim each month while attempting to stop a crime war between two of Gotham City's most powerful families, the Maronis and Falcone. So, like, we already see that here. We've got Falcone's going to be in this. I believe it's the same guy who played, Mess with the Jesus. And the butler in Mr. Deeds is going to be Falcone in this. We have what's his name? Russell Crowe? Is it Russell Crowe who's going to be the Penguin? The Penguin, the Batman. He gained a lot of weight for it. Colin Farrell. That's it, not Russell Crowe. Colin Farrell is going to be the Penguin. Paul Dano, the Riddler. Obviously, Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman. And then Robert Pattinson is Batman. I just feel like we got to wait and see this movie because with the story they are telling and the trailers that we have seen, Soapy, think of every Riddler we've seen. The Riddler from the comics, the cartoons, Jim Carrey's Riddler, like these types of Riddlers, the main one I'm thinking of is like bowler hat Riddler or like Jim Carrey's Riddler. That was kind of the closest thing we've seen to the comics and such. That is not going to fit in the movie it looks like Matt Reeves wants to tell.
See, and I get that. The only thing is though, like we've seen like the darker rendition of that. Of I think it was the Arkham Knight is where the Riddler's in it. Of where
yes,
you just kind of make his clothes like look a little grimy. Like obviously, I know like if it's setting up for the fact that he's got to look like a gimp, it's be for me.
Yeah.
But because like for instance, to me, I don't mind if you change the design of characters. But like for instance, to me, Riddler's always been that person of like to me, he doesn't strike me as like the guy who would wear something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's every, yeah, like he's always been the guy. He wears the goofy uniform, but like to me, I think you could have made that sinister by kind of taking the Arkham games route of where like his clothes kind of look dingy, like he looks a little like not insane because I don't want to use that as like a way of explaining, but it kind of looks unhinged a little bit, like. Do something like that. Like obviously, if it works in the movie, it works. It's just personally for me, I'm not a fan of the design because, like I said, it looks like he's wearing a gimp suit or he's wearing a trash bag.
Well, and to me, the biggest worry I have has nothing to do with his look. It's the character in general because to me, whenever I have watched the Riddler's main MO is I want to prove that I'm smarter than Batman. I want to prove that I'm smarter than you. So, like, there is a worry in my head that they're taking the Riddler, shoehorning him into this holiday role from the last Halloween, and going to make him more of a killer who tries to, like, oh, you got to solve riddles to get my next kill. That's not the Riddler. The Riddler could care less about, like, killing people. He just wants to prove, hey, I'm smarter than you. I have bested you, Batman. You are not smarter than I.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I'm with you on that, of where, like, the Riddler has always had it, of where, like, if someone dies in the process of you solving his riddle, like, tough shit.
Yeah.
Like, those people, wrong place, wrong time. He doesn't go out of his way. I think it's, like, the only time we've ever seen him go out of his way to get someone, I think, is the Arkham games. Is where like he goes and kidnaps someone close to Batman, aka Catwoman. Yeah. It's always fucking Catwoman.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he kidnaps Catwoman and basically he's like, "Hey, Batman, solve the riddles or she dies."
Yeah, which I will say I am more intrigued for this version of Batman and Catwoman than I was in the Dark Knight series, because like it just seemed Anne Hathaway's Catwoman was just kind of like thrown in there, like, oh, Catwoman's in this. Oh, her and Bruce now have a thing. Where it looks like from the trailers that they may focus a lot on the relationship between Batman and Catwoman in this. And I'm trying to think the other Batman movies. One of the other ones did have Batman. I think it was one of the Burton ones. But it looks like they're going to focus in on that Batman-Catwoman relationship.
Yeah, and I think that's always something that's kind of been interesting. Where, like, obviously, Catwoman isn't a good person. She still steals from people.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's going to kind of be an interesting way to go about it. Where obviously I know, like, it's Batman always kind of uses her as the way of, like, okay, like, you're a criminal, what do criminals do?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of thing. Where, like, he's always kind of had that, like, circle of people around him that help. And, like, I don't know, it's just, to me, this just kind of seems weird a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, like, because obviously I'm not familiar with the Halloween one, so that's kind of why, like, I'm very loosely, like, kind of speaking at distance about it, because obviously don't know too much about it.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, it's just, like, I'm just skeptical of this movie in total. Like, I want it to be good. Don't get me wrong. I love when DC actually has good movies, because I am more of a DC person than a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just something of where, like, I'm just going into this movie, like, with lower expectations, because the fact of, like, okay, like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this Riddler. I don't doubt that Batman's gonna actually be pretty good in this. Because obviously Robert Pattinson is a solid actor. It's just everyone only knows him from one movie.
The voice, the voice is my only worry. And it's only because of a recent article that I saw where it was like, apparently Robert Pattinson was like doing like a bat whisper, and people had to like stop him early and say like, no, we don't want to, we don't want to do that, Robert. How about we go somewhere else?
Yeah, dude, he's doing the College Humor skit over Batman's trying to find his voice. We're gonna get a Spanish-speaking Batman halfway into this.
Like, I think about it, and it's like, I go back to the animated series, there was a little bit of a difference between, like, Batman and Bruce Wayne, but it wasn't a drastic difference. It was just that, like, Bruce Wayne just, like, made his voice a little deeper. Like, that, I think the way, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name. Voice actor for Batman was, like, his Bruce Wayne voice was just his normal speaking voice. And that's like, for Batman, I just drop it down a little bit.
For the animated series for the voice actor?
I'm trying to think.
You're talking about Mark Hamill?
No, not Mark Hamill. He was the Joker.
Oh, my bad. I don't know why. Every time anyone talks to me about, like, Batman animated thing, I just think Mark Hamill did everyone's voice.
Why am I blanking on this? Kevin Conroy, that was it. I feel shitty that I fucking blanked on his name. But, like, Kevin Conroy...
I said fucking Mark Hamill.
His normal speaking voice was Bruce Wayne. The Batman voice, he just dropped a little bit. Because, like, of course Bruce is going to change his voice. But I feel like some of these actors just overthink it.
Yeah, to where, like, they get, like, that weird, like, oh, we gotta go get the Joker. Like,
Little Al Pacino
like,
in there.
You guys know, like, he's not a fucking mouth breather. Like, Batman's a normal person. Like, he's not a fucking meathead.
Meathead.
Like, there's a reason they call him, like, the world's greatest detective. Like, he's not some fucking bozo running around breathing on everybody, and he just figures it out by luck.
Yeah. Oh,
like for instance, I think...
Go ahead.
Like, I think the Arkham games did his voice really well. Now, granted, I also...
Because it was Kevin Conroy who did the games.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, maybe we should just cast Kevin Conroy to be it at some point.
Eventually, Kevin Conroy's going to have to, like... I think there was one...
I want to teach someone how to do the voice.
Well, I think there was one of the Arkham games where Kevin Conroy didn't do it.
It's probably the first one.
I think it's Origins. Arkham Asylum, it was Kevin Conroy.
Alright, so it's probably Origins then.
I think it's Origins. Arkham, this is what you do on a podcast. So Arkham Knight, Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins. I think that was all of them. So Arkham Knight, I know that was Kevin Conroy. Why does it not have him? Yeah, Kevin Conroy was Bruce Wayne and Batman. Arkham City was Kevin Conroy. Arkham Asylum was Kevin Conroy. Arkham Origins was... Damn. I'll have to find who it was for Arkham Origins. But yeah, it was... Most of the time it is Kevin Conroy because he is the definitive Batman. But you can't do that when you cast like, oh, we're going to cast Robert Pattinson as Batman. Oh, by the way, we're just going to have Kevin Conroy voice you over. You're just a look on screen.
Yeah. Like, see, I don't know. It's just, that's why I'm saying, like, I'm just kind of, I have concerns for this movie, and, like, it just stems from, like, all of the stuff kind of coming together. But, I mean, hey, let's hope the movie's good. I don't ever wish for a movie to be bad. Well, okay, there's some things I wish were bad. But that is a topic for a later date.
Roger Craig Smith. Yeah, Roger Craig Smith did Batman and Bruce Wayne in Arkham Origins. Origins. Yeah, he was, because I remember playing that game, like, there was just something off. I think Troy Barker was the Joker in that one. Yeah, that was the one where
Maybe.
Troy Barker was the Joker in that one. It felt weird because it was the only Arkham game that didn't have Conroy as Batman, Mark Hamill as the Joker. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, Jamaican Joker from, I think it's the Batman series. That's, like, one of the cartoon series, like, right after the animated series where he's got, like, the dreadlocks. Cool Joker. Not my Joker, though. Like, Mark Hamill's always will be and always is the Joker. But any final thoughts on this before we move on into some gaming news, Soapy?
I mean, let's hope that this is a good version of the Riddler.
I hope it's a good movie. I just hope it's a good movie.
Yeah, let's hope.
Gaming wise though, Soapy, we had a trailer drop at midnight last night. Street Fighter 6. Did not know Street Fighter 6 was even a thing or if it was coming. Is this, Soapy, a oh my god big thing? Holy shit, Street Fighter's here? Or is this just like, it's another fighting game? Street Fighter's cool, but like, whatever.
I'm not a fighting game person, so I'm literally the worst person to ask this question to.
Had to ask it to somebody.
But, I mean, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, it's always nice to see, you know, one of the titans of that, you know, genre come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of, you know, try to compete with the young guys. But, I mean, it's cool. I guess. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to like be a Debbie Downer about it, but it's just like I just don't really care for Street Fighter.
I haven't played a Street Fighter game since, like, I'll be honest, like Street Fighter 2. Like, I'm talking SNES days is the last time I've played a Street Fighter game, and like there's a part of me that goes, you know what? This, depending on how it looks, might dip my toes back into the Street Fighter game because I'll be honest, I've like you, not really the biggest fighter guy. Like, we played Tekken when we were kids, but like I would just choose Eddie and fucking try to button mash my way to victory with the helicopter kicks and everything, while Dave was trying to do the Hao-Rang, just kick and try to like juggle me in the air, because, you know, kids, that's what you do. You find what works and then you stick to it. But the thing that I find interesting is just that's a teaser trailer. Holy shit, like, Street Fighter's back. The bigger gaming thing I wanted to talk about, and this is from last week, Soapy, is last Wednesday, WWE dropped a minute 40 trailer for WWE 2K22. GM mode is back. One of the things that in the Discord, whenever we've hung out, Soapy, Jake has brought it up, Tim has brought it up, you have brought it up, I have brought it up. Will they be, like, we've asked the question to each other, will they bring back GM mode? Will it be a thing? And from one of the lines in this, Soapy, the thing I am most pumped about is they kind of hint that you could go head to head with people which means you could do it online against your friends. I hope that is true. I hope that's not just them kind of putting a line in there to get to that and not do it. But does this make, I'll ask you, does this make WWE 2K22 more of a buy now? Because it probably might not have been on the top of your list because of the last WWE 2K game we got.
I mean, to be honest, this still doesn't put it on the buy list.
It's not even on the list
This
at
game
all?
This game still looks like doo-doo paper. Like, I will only ever really care about these games if they actually, put effort to make the game look good.
Yeah.
Where it's like, because you can easily see, like, whenever they're flashing over the GMs, like, Sonya literally looks like someone beat the shit out of her in an alleyway, and they sent her in, like, 2 seconds after.
Are you talking her game
like, her
model
face
or her
looks
picture?
swollen. Like, her game model.
Okay.
Her game model looks, like, it does not look good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or, and it's I know somewhere in the Discord, I think I put it in the gaming chat, I dropped a screenshot, because it was, I think it was JD said, like, the game looked good, and it was a picture from the story mode, and I'm like, I want you to point out who these two fucking people are, because one of them was kind of obvious, because one of them, it's HBK and, Beth Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Took me at least 3 minutes to figure out it was Beth. I'm like, she
Yeah.
looks like the generic buff woman.
Yeah.
That's been in every game since, like, 2K15.
I don't know. I'm kind of pumped for it. And the reason why is just the, like, I don't care if the game looks dog shit. If I'm able to have a draft, let's say Tim and I can draft, he goes Raw, I go SmackDown, and then we go head to head to see who can have the higher ratings, like, that alone to me is like, holy shit, let's do it. Because, like, that's the one thing I would love to do is, like, if they just made, like, NFL tried it, EA, it was head coach, where it was, think Madden, but you don't play the game. You just call the plays and you watch the plays get played. I remember buying it and then playing it going, this is it? I don't even get to run the play? Oh, wait, that's right. I'm the head coach. Why did I buy this dumbass game? In WWE, I'd be happy with just that. Just let me be the GM and map everything out. Maybe, like, the getting involved with the match is cool. That's a cool thing that they put in there. But, like, I would just love to do that head-to-head with a friend of mine and just see who can have the higher ratings.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a cool thing to bring back, and I am happy they bring it back. Like, I'm not trying to rain on everyone's parade. The only thing is, though, like, I know how this company works. I've seen how little they try when they do games.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my hopes are so far in, like, just in the abyss at this point. I've gone below rock bottom.
Yeah.
Like, it was the rock bottomed my expectations out of this dimension. Like, it's the fact of, like, I know how 2K skimps on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Over, like, they show it and they're like, look at all these features. It's like, okay, is this going to be any better than the old GM mode, or should I just go back and play the old one?
Yeah.
Like, that's just my entire concern.
The one thing I think is cool also is I'm looking at the part where they're like, you have your budget and your show cost and stuff. And on the free agents thing, some of them are permanent. Like, for example, Charlotte Flair, Montez Ford, both of them are permanent, but you're paying like $240,000 for Charlotte, $214,000 for Montez. But then there's like Carmella, $72,000, but only 5 weeks. You only get her for 5 weeks of shows. And, like, to me, it's like, first off, I'm like, that's not how it really works. Like, if you're not drafted to SmackDown, just go, we're only going to use you for this long. Unless you're like, well, we're going to sign you and then cut you in 5 weeks. Like, if you could actually cut, we're doing performance cuts here in the game. You send out the tweet and everything.
Dude, they really did. They really did put budget cuts in the game, dude. Like, WWE's gone full meta at this point.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that was the same way they had the feature work in the old games.
Did they?
That's how you could steal people if like people's contracts were coming up.
Yeah.
You could snatch them away from the other brand. Like, my whole thing is just I want them to fix one of the problems with the old one of where, like, all you had to do was just use HBK and fucking Undertaker and you win the game. Yeah. Because no one can fucking beat it because those two always get like 100% hype the whole time.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Like,
makes sense though. Have
make
the
it to
number
where it's
one
not like,
stars, and that brings in the
yeah,
hype
but
in
like
there,
no,
right?
that's all you had to do. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have to try. It was literally like for
You
anyone
could
who's watched Up Up Down Down and watched their Battle of the Brains, that's literally how Tyler Breeze won the first season.
you could basically just have Shawn Michaels versus I don't know Al Snow, and it'd
Oh no,
get
like it would be you'd have like it's literally you could just run the same match over and over again, like
okay,
singles match, no money involved.
okay,
Literally get 5 stars, and you're just blowing the other person out of the water.
okay. So not even
Where
a
like
title
that's
match
kind
or
of the thing I
anything.
want them to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it could literally just be a normal match,
Damn.
and it's five star every time. Your ratings are through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Like
No Hell in a
that's just the main
Cells,
problem.
no
Where like
dog
at
collar
least try to
matches.
make it. Yeah, or where we got to dump food on someone that we call the big dog.
The big
Because,
dog.
we got to really hammer home that he's
Mm-hmm.
the big dog.
Which I do
But
have to ask you, little off topic, AEW style. What is your thought of the dog collar match between MJF and CM Punk? Because like,
can we stop doing dog shit?
is this just AEW going, hey, instead of a strap match, we're just gonna call it a dog collar match?
Like, can we just stop doing dog shit in wrestling, please?
Stop?
Like, I saw 2 years ago Roman get dog food dumped on him because he's the big dog. And now we're doing dog collar matches. Like, can we, kind of step away from that?
Mm-hmm.
It was dumb in the 70s. It was dumb in the 80s. It was dumb in the 90s. It's dumb in the 2000s. Dumb in the 2010s. How about we don't bring it back for the 20s? How about we move past it?
Oh, nope, gotta do dog collar stuff. Dog collar.
I mean,
Put
hey,
that dog collar
it's someone's
on there.
kink out there to see two
Jesus.
big sweaty men chained together by
CM
their
Punk's
necks.
not even
So
that big. I would say MGF's not even
He's
that
bu-
big of a guy.
they're buffer than most.
Fuck it. Let Brock and
Like-
Roman do a dog collar match then.
No, Brock's neck's too fucking big to do that. You have to tie an actual rope around his fucking neck, and then you're gonna run the risk of choking him.
Strangling him. But that lead. Go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was
Sounds
just
like
saying
I'm
that that's stupid, and I hate that they're doing it.
So, last two things we got. First one, some little wrestling news. Soapy. We had a big WrestleMania match announced today.
Oh man,
I don't know if you saw the news, but this is what the WWE article says. The table has been set. 2022 Royal Rumble winner and WWE champion Brock Lesnar has chosen to battle Roman Reigns in a title versus title match. It's winner take all in a highly anticipated rematch at WrestleMania. Although Lesnar was originally scheduled to challenge the head of the table at WWE Day 1, Reigns tested positive for COVID-19 and was unable to defend the Universal title at the first premier live event of the year. After being fired by Reigns days earlier, however, Paul Heyman once again took on the role of advocate for Lesnar and negotiated of his client to be added to the Day 1 title fatal 4-way match. Thanks to Heyman's maneuvering, the Beast was free to conquer the field and claim the WWE title. Obviously, he then, lost it to Bobby and then got it back at Elimination Chamber, or the WrestleMania Chamber, as it was almost called because of Saudi, but thank God it was still the Elimination Chamber. Soapy, any thoughts on this? Do you think WWE is going to do what we want and unify the titles, or will this be another Becky 2-belt situation?
I mean, another Becky 2 belts. I'm also just saying the fact that they were highly anticipated rematch. No one wants that. No one wants this. We've seen it 8 times before, and all 8 times it fucking stunk.
Mm-hmm.
Because lo and behold, we get this wonderful thing of the way Roman's character works and the way Brock's character work. Wow, what a shock! Neither fucking sells anything. You're gonna have 2 people bumping into each other the whole fucking time, not doing anything.
But will that work in this match? Because they're 2 guys who think they're that they're the top.
Oh, I hate this.
I just I feel
if
like
they did what the fans wanted, Brock wouldn't have the belt. Bobby
Yeah.
still have it.
Well,
Bobby's doing something else.
Bobby also is injured. That's another reason of why people have said that he probably had to give up the belt because the injury. I'm trying to look
Just
at
have someone
Wrestle
else
Talk.
hold it. Brock doesn't fucking need it. Like, I get why they're doing it, because they're probably
There it
unifying
is.
the belts. It's just, like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to see Roman 2 belts or fucking Brock 2 belts. Because lo and behold, I want to see someone else fucking have the belt. I've already seen Roman hold the belt for almost 2 fucking years now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want him to have a stranglehold on both. What a shock. I know it's a terrifying thing to think of WWE. People like new champions. We like to see, people who haven't held it before, or people who haven't held it in a while. For instance, KO hasn't held it in like 3 fucking years. I mean, when's he gonna get another one? Jeff hasn't held it in a couple of years. When's his turn? I'm not gonna say Randy or Drew because those guys had it like last year. But like, where's all these people that you still have under contract that are doing Jack Diddley squat right now? Like, what's going on with them? Like, that's my whole thing. Is just, can we finally stop? Like, I get it. They're not going to, because, Brock's money, Roman's money. They're going to milk this until literally both these two hate each other in real life.
Well,
It's just so annoying.
And the thing with Bobby that I found out the exact details was, according to Kazim of the Ringer Wrestling Show, Bobby Lashley actually has a legitimate shoulder injury, which he has been dealing with since the Royal Rumble. He went on to say that Lashley is expected to be out of action for at least 4 months for surgery. So, like, the only reason this is a title versus title match because, Bobby got injured. So we have to put the title on someone. So let's put it on Brock and have it be a title versus title.
Oh, this is probably... I guarantee this has been their plan the whole time. I was waiting for WWE to do the damage control of, like, we had full intentions of Bobby winning, but he was hurt. It's like, oh yeah, sure you did. Just like how Mustafa Ali was supposed to win like 10 different fucking times and it never happened, huh?
Hey man.
Just like how Aleister Black was supposed to win.
We would have never had Kofi Mania without the Ali stuff, which I will say sucks for Ali, but I loved Kofi Mania.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just so tired of fucking Brock and Roman at this point. Like, I get it. They're they're two of the biggest names of the company, arguably the two biggest.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously you want that to headline, but, like, I am so fucking tired of these fighting each other because it's the same match every time. I promise you this. How much do you want to bet? I'm calling an exact spot that's going to happen.
Go ahead.
Roman's going to go for the guillotine. They're going to act like Lesnar's going to pass out. He's just going to stand up, fucking get him on his shoulder, F5 him, and Roman's going to kick out at 2, stand up, fucking Superman punch, do the stupid, fucking spear. And then watch, he's gonna get caught in the spear with the fucking Kimura lock. Like, it's so fucking easy to predict it at this point because these two have the same match every time.
Well, it's not just like the same match thing. I think the WWE has hit a problem with the head of the table stuff. The storylines don't go anywhere. It's the same, like you said, it's kind of the same thing every time. The Usos get involved, acknowledge me, blah blah blah, to where it's like, I feel like after this match, what do you do? Like, what's the plan? Like, and if it is unification, like, great. So is Raw just going to be without a title because they're not going to take the title off of Roman? You know what I'm saying? Like, so should we
start appearing on both?
Well, should we not even be like rooting for title unification then? Should we be just rooting for it's 2 belts and then sooner or later Roman will lose the belt to somebody?
I mean, at this point, I just want the belt off Roman. Like, and this is the thing, and obviously, like, I loved the head of the table when it first started, and it was going really good. The problem is
you can't just have win. It's hard to have win and keep that sustainable.
And especially it's win the same way every time. It's not Roman beating his opponents. It's the Usos coming out and hitting his opponent to let Roman win. Every time. Or, like, we were watching the one match, and I literally sat there, I'm like, alright, how long until the Usos show up, get their shit kicked in, and then a fucking spear and a guillotine? This is the thing. I like that Roman, does the guillotine, because obviously it's like, put his opponent to sleep, blah, 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 doing that whole thing. But like, it's just to me personally, I just look at it and it's like Roman's character is becoming so boring, and putting two belts on him doesn't
Mm-hmm.
reinvigorate that. And now just puts a stranglehold of like, okay, who the fuck wins now? Does
Yeah.
he hold both belts till fucking The Rock shows up?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sorry, no one wants that. Like, people like seeing title matches. I don't want to see like two Roman matches on
Yeah.
one card, or just constantly see only one Roman. Like, I don't want to just see one belt being defended constantly
Mm-hmm.
by the same person. Because at this point, like, it's getting to the level of like Super Cena,
Yeah.
of where it just no one can beat Roman. Roman's this unbeatable force, and obviously
Mm-hmm.
he's not like the force of good. It's like, oh, he's gonna make you acknowledge him. Like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. What makes you any
Well,
better than when John Cena did it?
it's like I'm looking right now like when I was a child, and like for me I really got into wrestling about like 97. So like when Stone Cold was coming up being the champion and stuff. And like if I pick a random date of like when The Rock won it in November of 98, he only held the belt for, let me see. He held the belt for 50 days before Mankind took it off him. Then 20 days later, The Rock gets it back. 7 days later, Mankind. 15 days later, The Rock. But then after that, like 41 days later, Stone Cold gets it. Then Undertaker, Stone Cold. Back to Mankind. Then to Triple H. Then to Vince McMahon. Then it gets vacated. Then you have Triple H, Big Show, Triple H. Then The Rock, Triple H, The Rock. That kind of went back and forth. But then Kurt Angle got himself in there. Then we had The Rock and Stone Cold kind of trade off to where it's like, notice how I highlighted The Rock when I was looking for this. And yeah, there were times where it went back and forth between two people for three times. But it was changing to different people, and it wasn't just one person that held the belt forever.
Yeah. And like, and I get it. Like, obviously, it makes Roman look dominant, which I
Mm-hmm.
understand. You want Roman to look dominant.
Yeah.
The only problem is of where it's getting annoying at this point,
Mm-hmm.
because like he's held it for over a year. I'm pretty sure he's almost held it for two at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like it's getting almost to the point now of where it's like, okay, Roman hasn't lost in 2 years. How in the ever living fuck now do you explain how some random jabroni's gonna beat him?
Mm-hmm.
Because like, okay, like who do you build up? Because you had him run through the fucking whole thing. He dick kicked the Fiend out of the company.
Yeah.
Like, the man kicked the demon out of the company by kicking his dick so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Got fucking Braun out of the company. Beat Seth.
Yeah.
Beat fucking literally everyone in his path. Of where it's like, who do you build up now? Because it's like, and it's the thing. Watch them just have it be the fucking Rock wins it. How much do you want to bet that the Rock is going to be the one to beat Roman?
Roman Reigns has held the title for 540 plus days.
Yeah, so he's on pace to fucking hold it for 2 years.
He won the Universal title on August 30th of 2020.
Yeah, so he's gonna fucking hold it all the way until like 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just the whole point I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Of where it's like, we get you want Roman to look strong, and it's understandable. Roman
Yeah.
is the biggest name in your company right now.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, notice how you're not pushing the actual wrestlers in the company. I mean, Roman's a wrestler. I'm not trying to mean that big
Yeah,
thing.
but like you're not pushing, you're not building up anybody.
Yeah, of like the people you're building up are the people that like. What happens when Brock loses the belt? Does Brock just fucking go back to do Brock things on his farm for like a couple months and then he comes back?
You know
Like,
who?
what happens with Ronda when Ronda fucking loses eventually, when she beats
Mhm.
Charlotte and becomes champ, and then she loses her belt?
Yeah.
Ronda just disappeared into the ether. Congrats, WWE. We're right back where we fucking started.
Mm-hmm. You know who should
Of where,
beat?
like,
You know who should beat Roman for a unified title? Braun Breaker.
they
Braun
won't do
Breaker
that.
no. I'm not saying now, but like Braun Breaker gets called up. Have him called up after next year's WrestleMania when Roman beats The Rock in LA. And then have it to where Braun Breaker is a surprise. Like, his call up is Money in the Bank. He wins Money in the Bank. Just straight up doesn't do the chicken chicken shit heel thing of I'm going to hit you over the back and steal it. Just, I'm cashing this in. Next Friday, I want a match on SmackDown. And he beats Roman for it. Or like at this pay-per-view, I want it. And he beats Roman for it. Like, because he's the only one that's under Roman in them that I can see Vince and them building up into, or them wanting to be that mega level star. Because he's already, they're already trying to push him as that on NXT 2.0.
Or 3.0 in like fucking 5 months when they burn it all down again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's just the thing. We're like, right now, there's no one reasonable you could put towards him.
Mm-hmm.
So what, do we start running it back? Do we get another fucking KO versus Roman situation? Like, that's just the whole problem of, like, when you have someone run through the roster, you're not currently building anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what, do we get a fucking, like, Roman versus Drew? Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to fucking see that.
Yeah.
Like, it's at this point of where it's like, okay, you're hitting the hard part of doing a long-term, championship.
Mm-hmm.
Over, like, you've already hit all the quick hits that everyone wants. Yeah, over, like, just, like, I'm going to use this for an example of, like, when Kenny Omega was champion in AEW, like, it pains me to compliment Kenny Omega. I don't like the guy.
Yeah.
But, like, I like the way that they handled him as champion because everyone knew, like, okay, he's champ, Hangman's taking it from him. Everyone called that shit forever ago.
Yeah.
Because of the storyline. They built it up over time of where it's like, okay, like, we're all anticipating for that moment of Hangman to get the opportunity.
Yeah.
So, like, we're all sitting here like, okay, this is going to happen. It's happening at some point. Let's get this shit done, gamer. And then just out of nowhere, like, boom, he wins the opportunity. Okay, cool. We've built up to it. Over, like, there's no one waiting in the wings for that situation. Because, like, there's not, like, an anticipated rivalry. Like, what? Is fucking Paul Heyman gonna challenge him?
Yeah.
Paul Heyman's the only one that, like, Roman's had beef with. Because otherwise, it's like, Roman beats everyone that he's had beef with. Like, you don't have anyone waiting in the wings. Unless fucking Omos is the one.
Yeah.
Even that, no one wants Omos. No offense to Omos. I hope he's a nice person. But, like, no one's like, man, you know what, yeah, I really want to see Omos have that. Or I want to have AJ have that. Of where it's like, no one's been built up to take a championship spot.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the women, too, and, like, their titles have both been held by Becky and Charlotte since SummerSlam. Like, neither of those titles have changed hands since, like... And I remember with the
WrestleMania.
What, you think Bianca's gonna beat Becky?
Ronda's beating Charlotte.
Yeah, but do you think Bianca beats Becky too, and they both change?
No.
I
don't think so.
Okay. Because like I was honestly, I know it was because of Money in the Bank of why she got it, but I was relieved when Nikki Ash was champ. Like, fuck yeah, finally somebody who's different than what we've seen. And it was a great 33 days, I'll tell you that, before Charlotte got it. Oh, Charlotte gets it back at SummerSlam. To do the Soapy voice.
Yeah, like, it's getting to the point of where it's like WWE wonders why people aren't liking their product. It's the same fucking 8 people every week.
Yeah.
Like, you fired all these people to make more time for everyone. Motherfucker, you may as well fire the rest. I don't see the rest of them either.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that it's at the point of where it's like, it feels like they almost exhausted every single thing because of where it's like, obviously they split up AJ and Omos. Where it's like, okay, cool, AJ's back in the single scene. I fucking can guarantee he's not beating Roman.
Yeah. Like... Because
he lost to Omos.
Like, I'll say this. I'm not a guy that's like AEW better than WWE. I just love wrestling. I just want all the fucking brands to be good. But like, you look at the TNT Championship for AEW, and it's like, yeah, someone can look and go, oh, Guevara Rhodes, like back and forth. Oh, it's the same 2 guys. But like, think about the story that was told between that, and then how it escalated to that ladder match that we saw. What was that? Beach Break. Like, think about that ladder match. That was a pretty good match. Like, that was a match to where we were like, shit, that was an actual, like, kudos to you guys. That was a really good ladder match. And, like, it elevated Sammy Guevara into what he is now. Or helped him elevate even further.
Yeah, and then it's like right off the bat, like, we don't have this, like, oh, Sammy Guevara is untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
Right away, like, okay, cool, Darby's here.
Yeah.
Or it's like, Darby's held this shit before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's instantly thrown right into a situation of, like, okay, like, this is what's happening. Like, and I know that people be like, you complain about the same 8 people. I see the same 8 people in AEW. The thing is, though, the way they use people in AEW is the interesting part of where it's always like they'll tease to like what the actual match is going to end up being. Mm-hmm. There's always someone that fucking gets involved every time.
Yeah.
It's like it takes it away just long enough that at least it stays interesting.
Well, it was the same thing with the Attitude Era. You know what the match was. You might have known how it ended, but you might not have known who that third guy that was going to get involved was. Either during the match, before the match, after the match. Like, there was somebody else that was always vying to be like, oh, I'm going to try to come in at my most opportune moment to try to get the title after these two are done fighting for it.
Yeah, and that's just where, like, I just kind of reeling it back towards WWE. Yeah. I think that's the part that's really bothering me the most. And I'm on the same side of you. Like, I love to see wrestling thriving because the fact of, like, for instance, I grew up as a fucking TNA kid. Like, I watched WWE and TNA. I wasn't like, oh, one's so much better than the other. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I like to see wrestling just being good. Like, now it's in a situation of where it's like, okay, like, WWE is just doing fuck all. AEW is thriving, but viewership isn't watching it because no one knows what AEW is yet.
Yeah.
Of where it's like, it's sitting in that weird situation of where it's like, WWE just kind of stagnated and they don't know what to do with the people who are waiting in the wings. Because, like, for instance, like, obviously they gutted the women's division when, during the budget cuts.
Yeah.
But, like, for instance, you have people... Like, Rhea is the big example. Waiting in the wings. Where it's like, okay, like, the women's division of WWE
killed her momentum, though, after she lost to Charlotte.
Yeah, what a shock.
She was, like, on top. She was on top of the world. People were behind her. Boom. Lost to Charlotte. Yeah, and then it was like, oh, you're buried. You're buried to the mid-card.
What a shock. Yeah, what a shock. Someone loses to Charlotte? Charlotte would never... ever in her life win over someone who she doesn't need to win for. Oh wait, I forgot, she's a Flair. I wonder what it's like being a Flair. I'd love to have like 17 championship reigns for being like on the main roster for 7 years. That'd be pretty cool. Like, that's just the thing. And I know obviously we kind of just keep harping on WWE and kind of have moved away from the original topic, but it's just like
it goes into it.
You gotta change something.
Yeah, it goes into it of like what's gonna change. Last thing I'll bring up is maybe this is in my mind because I watched it today of like, think about In Your House Bad Blood, which was from 97, I want to say. Yeah, 1997. Even if you were like, I'm bored of Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. That match ends. Kane makes his debut. Boom, there we go. Undertaker loses. And Undertaker is taken into a new storyline to where you're leaving that pay-per-view going, holy shit, what's coming next? Not in the way of like, oh, well, Roman won again. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen next kind of a thing. Like, I had that thought of with Cena, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I was let down.
Yeah, and that was just my whole thing of where, like, I think that was the part that bothered me the most with it. Of where it's like, you built up Cena as this, like, oh, like, you even basically mentioned that he was Super Cena, and it's like, Super Cena always beats the bad guy. And then you just feed your biggest star since fucking The Rock to Roman in, like, a 6-minute match, and made Cena look like shit.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why, like, you have people leaving. Like, and I know, obviously, like, there's going to be people who are WWE defenders. And I mean, hey, shout out to you guys for being able to defend this product, because goddamn, that takes some skill. But, like, and I know, obviously, it's it's tough to be able to get everyone onto a show and get the fans behind everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is though of like if you push the same 8 people over and over again, and you have it that people who are not full timers like Brock and Ronda come in and just dominate the roster. Why should why should the casual fan give a single fuck about half your roster?
Yeah.
Or it's like you're not doing this because you are appeasing wrestling fans. You're doing this shit for money and viewership, which I mean, hey, that's part of business. I'm not gonna bash you
That's
for
all
running
the
business.
part of business. But yeah, I get it. Like you got to think about the fan too.
Because where it's like you're just hurting your product. Because like, what happens when Ronda can't come back and wrestle?
Well,
Who the fuck do you push now? You don't want to
or
push
when
Baszler.
she
The
won't
other
come back
form-
and wrestle because she's a part timer and wants to spend time with her kid.
Where it's it's where like, she'll lose the belt in like a year
Yeah.
to somebody, disappear for 6 more months, come back and get the belt again.
Yeah.
It's like cool. We have another fucking Brock. Like, I don't know. How about you build up
Female
the UFC
Brock.
fighter who's actually female Brock? How about you bring up the or build up the actual UFC fighter you have under contract in Shayna? I don't know.
Talk
Maybe
about
use that.
about somebody else who has like yet again on cloud 9, one of the fucking top wrestlers in NXT comes up to Raw, and then Vince is like, "How the fuck do I use her?" You're an idiot, Vince. I know Vince is not an idiot. He's done great things, visionary, but you're a fucking idiot if you don't know how to use Shayna Baszler. Like that should have been a license to print fucking money.
Yeah, and it's also the fact of like literally you just use her the same way you use Ronda. Like Ronda obviously has the way better win-loss record in UFC, but like if you're gonna book it that every
But
single
Shayna's
UFC
got the
person
way better
runs through the
win-loss
roster,
record in WWE.
I mean, yeah, they don't care about that.
Yeah,
part.
but the shit that matters to wrestling fans, like people shit on Ronda for how she looks in the ring. You don't shit on Shayna for how she looks in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you kind of shit on Shayna for
Not
how
as
she
much
looks
as
in the ring
Ronda.
sometimes. I mean, yeah, because Shayna at least looks like she knows how to throw a punch.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's just like, and that's the thing of where it's like you have people who can fill the same role as a Ronda, as a Brock, but you don't use them because they're not Brock and Ronda. It's like, you can build them up. It's like, hey, Vince, the thing that made you win the Monday Night Wars, how'd you build people up?
Yeah.
It's also because they have the whole stupid philosophy of like,
They also had DX.
we want the company to be over. Yeah, it's like they had the whole stupid philosophy of like, because back then it was like, we want the person to be over because that's the person who brings people in. WWE now is like, well, we want the brand to be over. It's like, no one cares. Yeah. We know who you are. Like, how about you have it to where there's a person I want to come and watch?
Who you are.
Like, what a shock. I know obviously he's out of the company because he had the allegations against him at one point that were proved false, by the way. But like with Enzo was bigger than fucking WWE at one point.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. Over like obviously, like I said, was out of the company for allegations. Obviously, like I said, proven false. But that is what it is. Of where it's like at that point, it's like, okay, how do you build up someone like Enzo again? Because he fucking dominated. He literally had people tuning in to watch him. What a shock! Now, granted, Enzo wasn't good in the ring. If he was a better wrestler, that would have been fucking fantastic.
A talker.
Yeah, of where like
sometimes people just want to be entertained.
Get over. Yeah, it's like let people get themselves over. Like for instance, like Keith Lee, like Montez Ford. Like you have all these people who fans are gravitating to. Like Matt Riddle. Fucking fans love Matt Riddle. Now, granted, it's also because he's a stoner who rides a scooter.
Except for Tim.
Like
Tim don't like Matt Riddle.
Well, yeah, because Tim's intimidated by another stoner.
Sorry, Tim.
It's like turf war.
Oh.
But like, for instance, fans fucking love RK Bro. Like, absolutely eat it up because it seems like Randy gives a shit.
Because Randy did give a shit. Randy loved RK Bro. Bruh.
Yeah, and it's like you have shit like that over like people are like, okay, cool. Randy cares. I want to watch Randy because he seems like he's having fun.
The best Randy is caring Randy.
Yeah. The best time you'll ever get from Randy is when Randy actually fucking cares for more than like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. And like that's just kind of my last thoughts on it. Of like, I am so fucking tired of the same champion over and over again. And I hope they change it, but they won't, because they won't change it until Vince dies, and once Vince dies, they'll sell it to somebody who will
Yeah,
just fuck it up even more.
probably sell it to Fox or something, and
Yeah,
yeah,
and then
we'll
Fox
see
will
how
fuck
that
it up.
goes. So, the last thing I want to talk about, though, we took a long time on WWE. Want to end the show right in your wheelhouse. A little bit of Star Wars. As there is news from IGN that says Spider Man director John Watts is reportedly in talks to helm a new Star Wars series. According to reports from Discussing Film, Watts has been invited to sit in the director's chair for at least one episode of the upcoming Star Wars series that is apparently operating under the working title Grammar Rodeo. Watts' involvement in the project is said to be dependent on his busy schedule, given that he's also helming Marvel's Fantastic Four. Cinelinx first reported on the series describing it as Stranger Things in Space, with a story that focuses on a younger generation of heroes during the High Republic era. The Accolade, another upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series, will be set during the final days of this same period in connection with the publishing initiative launched by Disney and Lucasfilms in 2020. What are your thoughts,
Okay.
Soapy? You're the Star Wars guy. Are you hyped for this? Do you talk to people who might not like me? When I see during the High Republic era, what can I expect from this series?
Yeah. So this is going to be the High Republic is a part of the Star Wars lore that I'm not even really super sure of. But I know this is around the time when the Jedi started to get more involved with the Republic itself. Because obviously before they kind of operated autonomously, like as their own separate thing, they weren't a part
Mm-hmm.
of it. But by this point, they started to kind of get intermingled with the politics.
Mm-hmm.
The part of this that really confused me
Mm-hmm.
is when they said like Stranger Things in space.
Yeah.
Because when I heard that, I got really excited for a second until they said High Republic, because I have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, in Star Wars, they have. I mean, now granted, this wouldn't be like Stranger Things; it'd be more like Walking Dead in
Mm-hmm.
space. But like, they have this thing where in Star Wars, it's called like I think it's like Project Blackwing. Basically, it's like a fucking disease that the Empire created to turn people into zombies.
Hmm.
And basically, like, when I heard that, I was like, okay, I'm like, am I gonna get a Project Blackwing fucking TV show? That'd be cool as shit, because those zombies are creepy as fucking shit in the book.
Now, could they mean like Stranger Things in space where like is there anything in Star Wars lore where like they're looking for like alternate dimensions and like rifts and shit like that in space?
There
Because
is
like that's
stuff
what I would
with that.
associate with Stranger Things.
Yeah, there's stuff like that. The only thing is, it'd be really weird
Mm-hmm.
because then they're exploring a thing that's in Star Wars lore way fucking after this.
Yeah. So it just
Because
wouldn't
so there's a
fit the High
place.
Republic era.
Yeah, well, I mean, depending on how they do it, because
Mm-hmm.
there's two ways, that at least I know of,
Mm-hmm.
that have like alternate dimension type things. So one, there's a location called the Maw, where basically it's a black hole, and people have gone in and out of it, and shit comes out of that thing all the time.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, if they're dealing with the Maw, it's really weird you're placing it in the High Republic, because that's something that Luke deals with, because
Mm-hmm.
that's where the space being Abeloth comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big fucking oh no if that's happening in the High Republic, because for anyone who knows, Abeloth is literally a god
Yeah.
that just popped out of a fucking black hole and started fucking everybody up.
Shit.
And no one in the High Republic era is anywhere near as strong as Luke was in the books. So it's either that, or I have a weird feeling that they're gonna do like the hyperspace monster thing,
Okay.
and that's the only thing I'm not looking forward to if they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in the books, they don't explain that shit.
So there is
Because,
no
like,
source material.
I mean, like, there's loose source material. Like, we know there's people that they went into hyperspace and they came out in a different dimension.
Mm-hmm.
We know that.
Yeah.
Because, like, there was an advanced robot civilization that did that, and they got stuck in this alternate dimension.
Yeah.
I wonder how the fuck anyone found out they're there. Because none of the books describe them fucking anyone finding them.
Mm-hmm.
They just got stuck there, and they're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, they're there. We're just gonna tell you they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
Okay, didn't need to know that.
All right. Yeah, like, I mean, that's just the whole thing of where, like, I don't want them to make up random shit. And obviously, if this is based off actual
good thing there's no Vikings in Stranger Things, though, Soapy.
Yeah, thank fucking God there's not Vape Cloud Space Vikings
hanging around. Space Vikings.
Like, that still pisses me off, dude. That description of those people fucking angers me to this day.
Space Cloud fucking zombies, man. Vikings, man.
Yeah, they travel around in a cloud. It's like, you guys know how space works, right? There's not a fucking cloud in space.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that's in there is, like, from fucking blown up stars. Are they blowing up stars everywhere they fucking go?
Yeah.
Because if so, how the fuck do they survive it? No, like, I don't know. It's just, the Stranger Things in space part was really confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
It piqued my interest. The only thing is, though, like, please don't focus it around children. I'm sorry, it only works with Stranger Things. Star Wars is boring as shit when it's children.
It says the focus on a younger generation of heroes. Is that going to mean children or, like, preteen? Or teen?
Don't give me children. I don't want children. Stranger Things works because, lo and behold, it's how children would fuck...
If we were on Twitch, somebody clip that. I don't want children.
Like, it works with fucking Stranger Things because it's kids handling shit in an innocent way.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars, the universe would literally tear these fucking children apart.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just the whole thing of where it's like, unless you're gonna just make shit up, and like I said, if there's source material out there that is like Stranger Things, and I look like the fucking idiot, understand? I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm on the show. White Man Can't Dump for a reason because I'm the smartest individual in the world.
White men can't dump, baby.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's just, that's the part that really intrigued me, but also kind of made me be like, oh, fuck, we're gonna start seeing some stupid stuff, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm excited for me because you're more the Star Wars expert than I am. Like, I'm excited for new Star Wars things, but there's, at the same time, I'm like, I feel like I'm in the casual fan boat of like, if it doesn't rope in, like The Mandalorian roped me in as a casual. Book of Boba Fett didn't really rope me in, but now that I'm hearing it's basically Mandalorian 2.5, I may go and watch Boba Fett.
No, you got at that point you just gotta skip to like episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4. Is that where that blue guy comes up too? The blue guy.
No, that's the episode after.
Okay. He's from the fucking Rogue series, right? Is that what Clone Wars series?
He's from even before. Yeah, he's from Clone Wars. I mean, he's been in the lore before, but his first appearance in Star Wars itself was the Clone Wars.
And then you said Bad Batch was good, right?
Yeah, Bad Batch is pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I never watched Bad Batch either. But hey, maybe we watch Bad Batch together because we got some. We have some things in the pipeline. For Soapy tossed out some ideas to me today that we may go ahead and run with for the future. But Soapy, that is going to do it for episode 3 of White Men Can't Dumb. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section for everything we talked about today. Make sure to join that Discord as well down below in the description to continue the conversation. We're talking about everything from TV, music, movies, gaming in the Discord. Everyone that's part of MVP Nation, go ahead and join that for free down below. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is how you can go ahead and do that. But also hit that like, that sub, and that notification bell to stay tuned with everything going on with the channel. That is going to do it for me and my main man, Soaps. We will be back on Wednesday to talk more entertainment news with you. Thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with us today. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye. I actually have my camera in the right spot so I can fucking wave at you this time.